Hey guys, so today I'm going to do another Q&A on service dogs, but more in general, not specifically about Levi. You guys asked a lot of great questions in the comment box of my video specifically about my service dog, so I thought I'd do another video for you guys. Really quick, I wanted to mention two things. One being, I am sorry I haven't put up a cover song for you guys. I actually got a cold the end of last week. I still have some phlegm in my throat, so it's making it difficult to sing, but I'm hoping that by the end of this week that I will be able to have another song up for you guys. The second thing is in the next couple weeks I am going to be getting a better camera, yay, so I can get off of my iPhone, and then I'll also be getting some lighting, which means that I'll be able to record at night. So that means that Ryan will actually be able to be in more videos, because right now we can only record on the weekends with him. So that's really exciting, but then with that, I'd like to know what you guys want to see from us, because I know some people ask vlogs, and there were a couple of people that want to know what marriage books we read. So let me know in the comments what you guys would like to see. Also, go ahead and follow me on Facebook, because when I'm not posting videos, I kind of leave you guys updates there about what's going on. So that's in the bottom bar as well. So let's go ahead and hop right into the questions. Number one is, what are some legal reasons to have a service dog? I'm actually going to link the ADA law in the bottom bar below. There are a lot of reasons to have a service dog, but that will explain more in depth about whether you would actually have a legal reason to have one. Number two is, how long does it take to train a service dog? At minimum, it is 2 years. Personally, from working with them with the foundation, for service dogs that do physical handicap, so brace type dogs, autism and Asperger's syndrome dogs, PTSD and panic attack alert dogs, those can be around 2 years old. I have not personally worked with hearing impaired dogs or seeing impaired dogs, but my guess would be that those ones would take a little bit longer. Number three, what are the best breeds for service dogs? Personally, I think the reason that you see mainly Labradors, German Shepherds, and Golden Retrievers is because they have the highest probability of working out. So yes, those are the three that are probably the best for service dogs. And the reason so many foundations use those is because they spend a lot of time and money on training dogs, and a lot of dogs actually don't pass, and so they have to be given away to families. And they may have put in a year of training into this dog, which is why they try to stick with breeds that have the highest likelihood of working out. And the reason those three have a high likelihood is because they enjoy, they have a love for helping out, and they are working type dogs. But I have personally seen tons of different breeds work out, so it doesn't necessarily mean that just those three breeds would be a successful service dog. Number four, how old should the dog be to start training? I would say definitely a puppy. I have seen dogs come through a program at 5 years old, and they worked well and they were good at their job. With that said, when you are bringing a dog into that amount of extensive training at an older age, yes, you can train an old dog new tricks, but it is really hard to get some of those personality traits that have already been embedded in them. Whereas with a puppy, you're able to put them around young children and babies and young children are the same thing, young children and dogs, and make sure that if they ever come face to face with something like that, that they would not react and they would not have any chance of biting someone. When you bring in an older dog, especially if it's not a dog that was yours personally, and you like adopt them from a humane society, you have no idea what their background is. So you may think that they're perfectly fine and would be great, but then one day they are put into a situation that you didn't know would trigger them, and then you end up having liability issues. Number five is, how much does a service dog cost? It is true that service dogs can be very expensive. They can be anywhere from $2 to $16 grand. But with that being said, there are other options if you cannot afford that. I know a lot of people stop looking as soon as they see how much they cost. One is that a lot of people will do fundraisers with their friends and family, and they will actually raise the money to get a service dog. And the second way is, there are a few foundations and organizations that exist that donate the dogs. It is obviously a much longer waiting list, but they do exist out there. It's just a matter of finding out if there is one in your area. Number six is, how do you go about training a service dog? The first way, which is the most frequently seen way, is through a foundation or an organization. You can easily find service dog organizations just by Googling in your area, and if you live anywhere near a big city or even near just like a larger town, you probably could find one or maybe even a few. The good news is that more and more of them are starting to pop up all over the place, so it is more readily available in states for people to actually go and see if it's something they might be interested in getting. Number 7 is, can I train my own service dog? And this is actually option number 2 for number 6. And yes, you can train your own service dog, but I want to quickly throw a disclaimer out there that if you are not a certified trainer, you have never trained a dog, or you don't know someone that would be willing to put 2 years of work into a dog for you, you should not go with this option. But yes, it is possible to train your own dog. Number 8 is, how do I certify a service dog? I'm going to be very frank with you guys and make sure that you know that there is no such thing as a service dog certification. It does not exist in the United States. So if you are going to go the route of training your own dog, do not ever send money to any of those websites that claim that they will send you certifications. Yes, they're going to send you a piece of paper, but that piece of paper means nothing because there is no such thing as a certified service dog certificate. It just doesn't exist. What makes a dog a certified service dog is having a disability that has a legal reason to have a service dog. That dog has specific tasks that it does that help your disability, and that dog is very highly trained and acts like a service dog. Those are the only 3 things that makes a service dog certified. There is no such thing as any type of certification that you can get. Number 9 is, I don't need a service dog, but I would be interested in helping out, so how do I get involved? There are a couple ways to go about this, and the number 1 way is to become a foster home parent, basically, which means that you would take in one of the dogs from the organization and help train and give it a home and food until that dog's training is complete and it moves on to its handler. Another way would be that if you happen to be a dog breeder, maybe possibly donating some of those dogs to service dog foundations. I know that a lot of service dog foundations are constantly looking for puppies to bring into the program, and they try to look for ones that are donated because, like I said, it's a lot of time and money they spend on the dogs, and to have to spend, anywhere from $200 to $2,000 for a dog, because German Shepherds can be especially very expensive, they try to see if any breeders would be willing to donate the dogs. So if you are a breeder and you would be willing to donate any dogs, definitely look up some foundations or organizations in your area and email them and let them know that you would be interested in donating some. Other than that, not all organizations, but I do know of some that not necessarily need foster parents, but would like people to help them take them out to malls. So they'll have large amounts of people that will take these service dogs out, and they may need more handlers. So if you're interested in being one of those, definitely contact your organization and see if it's something that they would need help with. Number 10 is, do service dogs sleep on the job? Yes, they do sleep on their job. The truth is they're still dogs and they sleep, and a lot of their day is laying in one place. With that said, from my personal experience, yes, Levi is lazy and he sleeps a lot, but he's a very light sleeper and he always has one ear up. If I stand up or I move in any significant way, he is awake right away. So even if you see a service dog sleeping, trust me, they're still doing their job, and they are always keeping track of what their handler is doing. And then I have a few bonus questions. Some people had a few questions about Levi and me, so I just want to throw them at the end quick so I could get them answered for you guys. The first one being is Levi trained in German? And yes, he is. He was originally trained in English, but the reason I switched him to German was because when I first got him, I was going to high school. So I had a lot of people that, although Levi would never listen to somebody's command that they gave, he would easily get distracted and just like look over at them, but he'd look back at me for permission first to listen to them. And in high school, kids can just be annoying, obviously, and they like to just do things to bully you and stuff like that, so they would give Levi commands. And so it got to a point that it was very frustrating for me, so I trained him over to German to the point that he knew English still, but he would not listen to it really at all. So that's why I trained him over to German, or switched him over to German, and so now that's pretty much all I ever speak to him. The only one I didn't switch over was stand, and mainly because I have him stand on a snap instead of saying it. And the last question, which I've been getting quite a bit, is how do you deal with stores trying to kick you out? Two things either will happen. One, this will always happen. I will kind of tell them the ADA law, state that Levi is a certified service dog and that he is allowed to be in there. And if they keep fighting back, usually they'll bring up calling the police, and at that point I will say, I will call the police for you and have them tell you themselves. And at that point they'll either do one of two things, and that is, from me stating I'll call the police myself, they'll let it go and they'll understand that Levi is allowed to be there. Or two, they'll say, okay, fine, so I will call the police and I'll tell them to please send a police officer that knows the ADA service dog law, because I don't want to end up with a police officer that doesn't know it. And so they'll send over a police officer, and I'll tell the police officer what happened, and then the police officer will just explain to the company that they do have to let Levi in, and then in the future it doesn't cause any issues for me or other service dog handlers. It can be very stressful to walk into a company, especially because it will happen within the first few feet of you stepping into a store. You'll be yelled at. So yes, I try mainly to always fight it, strictly because I don't want any other people with service dogs to have to handle any type of yelling from management, because it usually is yelling and not just a simple, you can't be in the store, I'm sorry. So yeah, I will always fight it. I will never just walk out and say, you know, I just don't feel like dealing with it today. So yep, that's the answer to that. So I hope that answered all of your guys' questions. All our links are in the bottom bar below, our Twitter, me and Ryan's Instagram, our Facebook, and then obviously the ADA law I will also link below, and I'll see if I can find maybe a few articles for you guys to read as well. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope that I will have a cover song for you guys up by the end of this week. So I will see you then. Bye. What you doing? Are you sitting? Are you sitting? Huh? Do you want a treat? Do you want a treat? Should we go get you a treat? Yeah? Alright, let's go. Let's go get puppies a treat. Come on. Come on. Puppies want a treat. Puppies want a treat. Puppies want a treat. Puppies want a treat. Alright, want these? Come here, Diddy. Diddy. Or Stretch. Levi, sit in. Come here. Sit in. Oh, Diddy sits in too. There you go. Come here, Diddy. Ah, Levi. Good girl.